Hello and welcome, this is your boy DriftShepard coming back at ya with another video of building a drift car behind the scenes. This time it is named. So today we will take a look at the none other 2016 Ford Shelby GT350R with the beautiful Voodoo engine. Don't get mistaken, it's the same chassis, the S550 that shows the same body as the regular Mustang GT with the Coyote engine. So as you can tell, they're all the same, but they stop at the Shelby, which they take it to those Shelby of America and tune up to the specs of what they do. So this one is built up to 808 horsepower, but as stock, you will get it to. It is a stock model. You get 650 horsepower, or equivalent is 526. 429 pounds of torque, 3,660 pounds. Where the one I have is 3,557 pounds, 808 horsepower, and 622 foot-pounds of torque, which makes for a very torquey beast of a vehicle. One note about the Voodoo is it does shift at 8,000 RPMs, which it loves the power band. So definitely just let that thing eat the ground to a stop. Anyways, this is the behind the scenes of more of what goes into building these vehicles for comp. Whether it's comp or just all fun drifting on drift hopper lobbies, you do want to kind of tune it a little bit differently, as you will be having different tracks you'll be hopping to. So what I first start off with is the platform handling. I do race brakes. Race front and rear anti-robos. Race roll cage for comps. You have to have it. It is a requirement in any motorsport you do, whether it's drag racing, drifting, circuit, tracks, speed, time attack type builds. Anything over a certain one on. For drag racing, it's anything that's over, I think, 9 seconds down the straightaway. You have to have it caged and a fire retardant racing suit in case the vehicle catches on fire. You're gonna hear a slam on my door. But anyways, and then I do sometimes a weight reduction. Weight reduction you kind of want to be careful with, as if you're trying to build it for a comp, you want to be cautious. I usually say what do weight reduction after you put the parts in for the vehicle, because some of the parts will reduce the weight. The next one I do is the drivetrains. So you want to do race clutch, race transmission, obviously, if you want to be able to play around with the gearing and the final drive, mostly the gears, race driveline, and of course race differential, which allows you to lock up the rear differential. I leave the decel alone now. I just put it to like 50 or 55. That way I found out that the deceleration allows you to pitch it quickly. So when you snap from transition, you want it to snap fast. If you wanted to control that, you would play around with that a bit. Tires for comps, depending on which one you're doing, for ESDA and FTC. ESDA is sport comp tires only. Sport tire compound. You do have some that are like grassroots, which only allow you at a stock or a street compound tires. And then, of course, there is the restriction of tire weight to tire width ratio, which means you have to be a certain weight to run that width of a tire. So I'm running 2 sets. On the front, it doesn't matter too much. It's the back you gotta be very careful with. So I'm running 235s, which is the same as my 2009 Chevrolet ZL1 Chevy Corvette. That's pushing about 800 something horsepower. One thing I will say right off the bat is if you're trying to get into drifting, I would say go with the tires, go with the transmission, and the platform handling. That's the only thing I would say. That way you can get used to the stock power band of the vehicle and control it more. That way you have more experience, and then once you feel comfortable with the vehicle, then you can gradually get into upgrading the engine. So, I don't know, a lot of you might not have known this, but when I started drifting, I didn't go for no Japanese import codes. Nothing, not knocking Japanese imports. They were absolutely amazing codes for drifting. The S chassis, the Nissan 350, 370Zs are great. I just wanted to do something a little bit different. I don't know if you all are familiar with the Tokyo Drift scene at the end of the movie, where they take his dad's Ford Fastback Mustang and put I think it was a K engine in it or something. Don't quote me on it, but it was a tuner engine that they put into the Mustang. They were pretty much doing was bringing a American muscle car and a Japanese engine together, which was awesome to see. And pretty much saying that muscle cars can do anything that Japanese imports can do, given the right tuning and what you're trying to do with the application of the vehicle. You can have these cars set for any type of event you want. Drag race, drifting, circuits, ovals, time attacks even, which means you have a crazy amount of air on it for the higher speeds you go, the more downforce you create, which will get you faster around the track. So you can pretty much put this to any application you want to do. Drag racing is a little bit different. I don't do that. Same with circuit racing. I don't do much racing. I'm mostly into drifting. So with that said, let's move on to the tuning. So no two tunes are the same. You can do a base tune, which is like a rough idea of what will get you around that certain track layout. And then each time you go around, you can tweak each part individually, slowly. And they will advise you, as soon as you're playing off each section, you right away want to apply the application, go out, make a test hit around the track a few times, and then see if you got to tweak it a bit more, or if it's good. Of course, I'm on an Elite Series 2 controller. I do have a TX458 Thrustmaster racing wheel, which I am slowly starting to get into using it. I gotta do that more so. But that's got a steep learning curve. So I have a 09 Corvette. Just did like I was saying, just did basic handling with its stock horsepower, which is still plenty for an LS because it has a supercharger on it, which is crazy. And that car was $105,000 in 09 brand new, which is insane. That's one of my dream cars. This one here is my other dream car I'd like to have one day. Anything is achievable if you put your mind to it, including myself. But you can buy a 350 platform and just get the kit for it, like the bumper and all that. You can just get that for it as well. And what I would like to do is create an RTR 350R spec Voodoo Mustang for that, which I think would be pretty insane. But enough yammering, let's hit the track and let you know what I'm talking about. So the first thing you want to do is I play on the tire PSI. So the more you go up, the more it will give you that grip. So you're working on the grip of it. And yes, you're going to have to go to each track. You're going to have to play around with the gearing. Some tracks you need a lot more longer within that power band. Some you need to shorten a bit. It all depends. So this is way too much. I would advise no more than 2. The back, I would just keep that as zeroed out. The front right now is zeroed out. So on controller, angle is not your friend. This will have it maxed at 6.0 and 60.0 on the steering angle. So if you're on a controller, you want it either 5.0 or under, and same with the steering angle. So I'm also running this, don't forget, a rough idea off of my competition Corvette of what I'm running for the stiffness, the softness, and the stiffness for the anti-robos. Suspension, I'm starting to play on that as well. Same with the ride height. So the ride height is, again, the height of the vehicle. I try not to go too low, but enough to where there's a suspension travel you can see it doesn't cover the wheels. I'll show you on the side of the vehicle. The rebound stiffness, this you play around with to get it to set up properly. I have played around this a little bit, but not too much. Aero, you don't have to really worry about unless it comes with aero on the vehicle. Then you just turn it down a bit if you're trying to get more speed. So this is never going to be an issue if you don't do it. Use it for drifting. But if you're doing time attack, you're going to want to play with the aero a bit. So this is what I do with the brakes. I go 90%, which means they don't lock up as fast. Keep it in the middle. I used to do 50 something towards the front. I've cut that out now. So this is what I'm doing with the differential. I have it accelerated at 100%, which locks the diff. The G-cell I have at 50, which is stock. Some of them go low as 35 stock, which is what the Corvette had, was 35. So that's, and then you apply the application, just hit A. So I thought I would do a different video on another vehicle than just the Corvette. I thought, why not do it on a Ford? Because now you got Volkswagen Jr. with the OTL Mustangs. Amazing cars. The way they can get those things to handle is incredible. 1,000 horsepower off the bat with a full race engine in it. And a bit of, probably I think he said like a 200 or 300 shot of NOS, of nitrous, that will screw up the turbos if you're using turbos. So usually if you want to warm up the tires, you would. So this is what I meant with the tires. I have it a little high, but I will set it down a little bit depending on what I need. I use manual clutch, but you can also use it for manual. It's a little bit different way of driving. You are going to want a left foot brake, but that's another ability that you can learn over time. A lot of drifters will left foot brake as it's on the throttle. It doesn't do anything bad. With drifting, there is two brakes calipers. There's the Hydro E-brake, which has its own. There's your basic regular brakes, which is through the pedal. But when you're trying to initiate it, you can do two ways. You can use the weight of the vehicle, which means that you would throw the weight around, and that would initiate you into a drift. But the only thing with that is you have to be pretty precise on power band. So you want to rev up to a certain RPM. With me being through here, you have to rev it a lot higher. It's okay to spin, it will bog down a bit and you actually get up there. So this is a 50 rule. Then you want to initiate, not on the grass. So this is what I meant with the Voodoo. It literally wants to just, you can do this in third gear, which is what I'm doing now. So I haven't done really a whole lot to this tune at all. Just the tires, and that's about it. So that whole section I did in third gear, all because it's a Voodoo engine. It loves the high RPM band, and even in Long Beach, I tested this out, and I can even do that section in third gear as well. Which, if you think about it, is very phenomenal for an engine of its caliber. So I'll do one more time, just to show it's not a lug at all. Sometimes you may give it too much angle, it will angle off, you have to back up the throttle a bit. This is not really tuned properly for this layout. So this is round 2 of FTC, which me and Joe follow. So the drift team I'm part of it, SDAO. I've been with them since Forza Horizon 4 a bit. I got active with the team again, active within the team within last year a bit. If you're not active, you can almost get kicked off the team of any teams, not just that one. So you want to be careful if you are not able to put enough time into it aside to be able to participate within the team. It is definitely a bit of time you have to manage your time well. I sometimes do, sometimes don't. Last weekend I was playing around with Metro Exodus and playing the 2 corners along with Sam's Story. Great game. Love the behind the backstory of both of them. Don't mind me, I will. So it's either too gripped up, which means that it's within the mechanics of the tune, which is not bad. You just gotta turn it up a little bit. So, reason why you want higher PSI in the front and in the rear you want less a bit, or depending, sometimes it's higher, is you want that front bite on the front of the tires. Because when you're drifting, you literally got grip on the sidewalls, but you also want it on the tread. That way you have even tread wheel if you're doing this in real life, which a lot of us all that are doing this. I'm not yet. I will eventually, if I ever do decide to go down that route, I will have a transition period of transitioning into that and bring you guys on a journey when that does happen of learning how to drift, which means just do donuts, slowly get the car to break traction. So you do donuts a bit on both sides, and then eventually you gradually go into doing a thing with 8, which is how you warm up your tires as well. And then once you're comfortable enough, then you find you want to do this all on a track. I would not suggest doing it illegally on any roads or parking lots. But find a local track near you that have events like that where you can learn. But back to the subject. You want front grip. You also want rear grip for the side. Front grip will, when you're drifting sideways, you want the car to pull the vehicle forwards as well as you're drifting. So you have two types of grip. You got mechanical grip, which is setting the suspension to be able to grip up when you need it. So that means you gotta stiffen it up and make it lighter, soften the suspension. And you also will play on the PSI in the tires as well. It's the same with tracks. If you're on a track race, you will heat them up, let them warm up a bit, and then put the PSI down a bit within the tires. So it's the same idea. So now that I've played around a bit, I'm gonna do. So this is sort of like a rough tune off of my Corvette of what I'm doing. So I'm putting it towards a negative. I won't be touching anything else. This I will put down a bit. That one I'll leave. Lower the suspension. And don't forget that this will change with each track we do. That sometimes it will change, sometimes it will work with every track, which if it does, that's great, but don't always count on that happening. You can still tell it's a little high, but you don't want it to be too low. Because if you can tell, as I get up the throttle, the back end lifts up and then squats. That's the mechanical grip that you want the vehicle to do. So if you run too soft of a suspension that you used to do, and the springs were too soft or too stiff, sorry, you're going to be fighting the vehicle and the tune on top of it. So just like that, she's starting to come along nicely. You can pretty much use this tune as well to around the track, so I'll give you a little bit of a lesson on it. Out, but I still I really keep the angle. If you're doing this to get points like I used to do builds on that just for doing popular lobbies, I would not have it set up for this at all for doing competitions. So another thing with FTC, they did just allow the RTL Mustang, Bonnie Jr. and DeNovas, and also Dean Carney's Dodge Viper, which is the highest horsepower vehicle in FD, as far as I can tell. That puts about, I think it was 1350 horsepower, which is insane. So it's almost like one full run around the track. You can pretty much light the tires up and be gone. I also like the LTL Mustangs. I will probably also do a video on that as well, just showing you what to do. It is built up from its stock that is a automatic transmission, but I do have it as a manual with clutch, and it has, I believe, 8 or 10 gears on it, which is what the new Coyote engine has. Not the Coyote, sorry, the V6, I think. Don't quote me on that, but it's the EcoBoost. They have 10 gears, and they'll watch that dude in blue. He did a video on that. Also, it's just a 6. Has also did a test drive in one as well. So that's definitely 2 channels to check out. That is my quick rough video. Don't want it to be too long. Drifting in a 2016 Ford Shelby GT350R, which is the S550 chassis. So it's got a little bit lower than what it was, so I might play with the ride height a bit and tune this just in case. But definitely give it a try. You can go up this one. If you have to pause the video when I was going through the section, you can try and take down the tune. I don't have it on my Surfront at all. I do have one for my Corvette, but that's for Long Beach, and that's a little bit different. That might get touched up later on other comps. But I hope you enjoyed. If so, don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe for more content. I'd like to thank 2 new subscribers to the channel. Welcome to Team Drift. We are now at 113 subscribers. So on our way there to being at almost 120, which would be phenomenal if we could. But that's enough gambling for me. I am your boy DriftShepard, signing out. Peace, and keep shredding them time.